Before you continue, take a deep breath. Archangel Michael says this message is extremely important. The timing of this message is not accidental. You did not arrive here by mistake. Something has been unfolding behind the scenes of your life, and heaven is trying to warn you before you take a step you will regret later. Archangel Michael says, if you skip this moment, if you ignore this guidance, you may end up crying over something that could have been prevented. But if you stay, if you listen fully, if you open your spirit, this message will shift you. It will protect you. It will align you. It will reveal what you could not see on your own. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more messages that speak directly to your spirit. Now, focus. Listen. Archangel Michael has something urgent to reveal to you. Archangel Michael says the heaviness, the tension, the strange pressure you have been carrying inside your chest lately is not anxiety. It is not fear. It is not instability. It is spiritual urgency. Heaven is trying to get your attention, because something in your life is approaching a turning point, and if you move too quickly or choose based on emotion instead of discernment, you may walk into something that will cause unnecessary pain. This is why you feel unsettled. This is why your spirit feels restless. This is why you keep going back and forth in your mind. Part of you wants to push forward, force a decision, choose the fast option, take the shortcut. Another part of you knows something does not feel right, even if you cannot put the reason into words. Archangel Michael says you are standing in a spiritual crossroads. One direction leads to peace, alignment, and breakthrough. The other leads to disappointment, delay, and emotional exhaustion. Right now, your spirit knows which path is which, but your mind is wrestling because the wrong path still looks tempting, easy, or familiar. This is not anxiety. This is a warning. Your intuition is louder in this season because heaven is trying to prevent you from repeating a mistake that already cost you deeply before. You have cried from decisions made in haste. You have suffered from trusting people too quickly. You have lost time by following temporary emotions instead of long-term clarity. And this time, heaven refuses to let you step into the same trap again. This urgency you feel is spiritual protection. It is the whisper that says slow down. It is the nudge that says pay attention. It is the tightness in your chest that says something is not aligned. Archangel Michael says the uneasiness you feel is a sign that something in your environment or in your connections has shifted. A person's energy has changed. An opportunity is not what it seems. A situation is pretending to be positive while carrying hidden consequences beneath the surface. Heaven sees what you cannot see yet, and you are being guided to pause before you step into something that will bring tears later. This pressure is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you. It is meant to sharpen your discernment. It is meant to prevent emotional damage. You are being spiritually alerted because your next decision will shape the next chapter of your life more than you realize. There is a choice you are about to make. A conversation you are considering. An opportunity you are thinking of accepting. A connection you are thinking of trusting. A direction you are tempted to take because it seems easier or quicker. But ease does not equal alignment. Speed does not equal guidance. Comfort does not equal destiny. Archangel Michael says, you must listen to what your spirit is telling you. Not your fear. Not your loneliness. Not your impatience. Not the pressure of others. Your spirit is speaking clearly, but your emotions are trying to drown out the message. Every time you try to silence this inner warning, it grows stronger. Every time you try to justify something that does not feel right, your intuition interrupts you. Every time you try to convince yourself that this time will be different, your spirit pulls you back and says wait. This is divine intervention. You are being held in place for a reason. You are being slowed down for a reason. You are being made uncomfortable for a reason. Archangel Michael says you are in a season where distractions are appearing as opportunities. Counterfeits are appearing as blessings. Old cycles are trying to repeat themselves. And the enemy is attempting to pull you into situations that look harmless but lead to emotional damage. This is why heaven is amplifying your inner awareness. The urgency will not go away until clarity is revealed. The internal pressure will not ease until you align with the right path. The uneasiness will not disappear until you choose the direction heaven is guiding you toward. You may wonder why you feel so sensitive. Why small things affect you more now. Why your instincts are louder. Why you can sense negative energy quicker. Why your body reacts before your mind understands. It is because your spiritual sensitivity is increasing. You are being upgraded, elevated, prepared for something bigger. And with higher elevation comes stronger discernment. Heaven does not want you walking blind into your next chapter. You are being trained to see beneath the surface. To sense what is real and what is deception. To know the truth before the truth reveals itself. This moment is crucial. This decision matters. This warning is real. Archangel Michael says the reason the message feels urgent is because the timeline around you is shifting. What happens next depends on how you respond. If you rush, you will regret. If you ignore the signs, you will cry over something that heaven tried to prevent. If you choose based on impulse, you will step into unnecessary pain. But if you listen, if you pause, if you reflect, if you stay aligned with your higher wisdom, you will avoid heartbreak, confusion, and loss. The urgency you feel is your protection. It is your shield. It is your guidance. It is heaven saying, do not take this lightly. Listen. Pay attention. Stay aware. Because this inner warning is the difference between repeating an old cycle and stepping into your breakthrough. Archangel Michael says you are standing in a season where not everything that looks good is good for you. Not everything that calls your name is meant to have access to you. Not every open door has been opened by heaven. Some doors are traps. Some connections are illusions. Some opportunities carry hidden consequences. Archangel Michael reveals that there is something in your life right now, whether a person, an invitation, an idea, an offer, or a situation, that is appearing beneficial on the surface but is carrying energy that will slow you down, drain you, or mislead you. It looks promising. It looks harmless. It looks attractive. It looks like a shortcut. It looks like the answer you've been waiting for. But heaven sees the truth behind the curtain. This is why your spirit has been uneasy. This is why you cannot fully trust it, even if part of you wants to. This is why something inside you keeps saying, wait. This is why you feel hesitation, even when everything appears convenient. Archangel Michael says, a distraction is disguising itself as an opportunity. This distraction is subtle. It is patient. It is strategic. It does not come in chaos, it comes in charm. It does not come loud, it comes quiet. It does not push, it gently invites you. It enters through convenience. It enters through comfort. It enters through the places where you are most vulnerable right now. This distraction may come as a person offering help, attention, or companionship. It may come as an opportunity that seems easier than the one God truly wants you to take. It may come as an old pattern resurfacing at the exact moment you feel tired or confused. It may come as someone from your past reappearing just when you're about to level up. It may come as an offer that seems too good to be true, because it is. Archangel Michael says the enemy rarely attacks by force. He attacks by deception. He presents something that looks like a blessing but carries hidden chains. Heaven has been trying to warn you through your emotions, through your dreams, through your body's reactions, and through sudden intuitive instincts that make you pause. Your spirit is trying to protect you from something your eyes cannot yet see. Archangel Michael says you are spiritually maturing, and that means you must learn the difference between what feels good and what is divine. The difference between what is easy and what is aligned. The difference between a distraction and a destiny path. A distraction always comes quickly. Destiny comes with clarity. A distraction feels rushed. Destiny feels peaceful. A distraction promises everything instantly. Destiny grows gradually, steadily, purposefully. This is why Archangel Michael says you must look deeper. Look beyond the presentation. Look beyond the surface. Look beyond the charm and sweetness. Look beyond what they show you and pay attention to what they hide. Discernment is your shield in this season. Archangel Michael warns that this distraction could lead you into emotional pain if you allow it too close. It could drain your energy. It could pull you off your path. It could shift your focus. It could cloud your intuition. It could make you cry later. This is the reason for the urgency in your spirit. Even when you try to convince yourself that this option is good, that this person is harmless, that this situation is manageable, your deeper intuition keeps interrupting your comfort. Because your spirit knows. You may not have the full evidence yet. You may not know the hidden motive yet. You may not see the trap yet. You may not understand the whole picture. But your intuition has already received the warning. Archangel Michael says something in this opportunity is unstable. Something is inconsistent. Something is being hidden. Something is not adding up. And if you ignore the warning signs now, you may end up crying later, saying, "I knew something was off. I felt it but I didn't listen." Heaven is trying to prevent that. There is a blessing coming that is genuinely yours. A real opportunity. A real open door. A real connection. A real breakthrough. A real alignment. But if you attach yourself to the wrong thing now, you may block what heaven is preparing for you. This distraction is appearing now because you are close to elevation. The enemy always brings counterfeits right before God brings the real thing. He always brings confusion right before clarity. He always sends temptation right before transformation. Archangel Michael says, if you settle for the distraction, you will miss the blessing. If you attach to what is not meant for you, you will drain your spirit before you reach your breakthrough. If you choose what is convenient, you will delay what is divine. This is why heaven is slowing you down. This is why you feel hesitation. This is why you feel uncertain. This is why you cannot move forward with peace. Your spirit is protecting your destiny. Archangel Michael says do not ignore the whisper inside you telling you to be cautious. Do not override the red flags because you want something to work. Do not silence your intuition to satisfy your loneliness, impatience, or hope. You are wiser now. You are stronger now. You are more spiritually aware than before. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. You are being protected. You are being prepared. A distraction is disguised as an opportunity. But heaven is exposing it before it harms you. Trust your inner warning. Trust the pause. Trust the discomfort. Trust what your spirit senses before your eyes confirm it. The truth will reveal itself soon. And when it does, you will be grateful you waited. You will be grateful you listened. You will be grateful you did not step into something that heaven tried to save you from. There comes a moment in every person's life when heaven steps closer than usual. A moment when the spiritual realm leans in, watching to see how you respond, watching to see if you will surrender, stand still, or step forward. Archangel Michael is revealing that you are in that exact moment right now. This is not a season of random feelings, strange dreams, or uneasy thoughts. This is a season being divinely engineered for your awakening and your repositioning. You have been sensing things shifting around you. Certain people feel distant, certain places feel uncomfortable, and certain habits that once brought comfort now feel heavy. These are not coincidences. These are divine indicators that the old version of you is being peeled away. Just like a snake sheds its skin when it begins a new cycle, you too are shedding what no longer matches your spiritual identity. Archangel Michael says there are things you may not see yet, but you are being positioned for something far greater than the life you are currently living. There is a rearranging of circumstances happening behind the scenes. God is reorganizing your path. He is closing doors you would have never had the courage to close on your own. He is disconnecting you from cycles you didn't even realize were draining you. This is why certain relationships suddenly changed. This is why your comfort zone suddenly collapsed. This is why you were pushed into healing, growth, and truth. This shift may not feel comfortable, but it is necessary. Every time a blessing is preparing to enter your life, a disruption comes first. The enemy tries to distract, confuse, or discourage you. But heaven always warns you ahead of time. Archangel Michael says you must stay alert during this spiritual transition because you are closer to your breakthrough than you think. This is a holy interruption. A divine recalibration. Something you prayed for is beginning to manifest, but it requires a higher version of you to step forward. God cannot bring new blessings into an old version of your life. He cannot pour a new anointing into an old identity. That is why everything feels uncomfortable. Growth always begins with discomfort. Archangel Michael reveals that certain obstacles you are facing right now are not punishments. They are awakenings. They are signals. They are reminders that you were never meant to settle. You were never meant to shrink. You were never meant to live small, hidden, or silent. You were designed with purpose, with authority, with spiritual sensitivity. You may feel like your faith has been tested more in the last few weeks than it has in years. But that is because your prayers have reached heaven, and the answer is already being released. The pressure you feel is not a sign of defeat. It is the spiritual tension that occurs right before a major breakthrough. Think of it like childbirth. Before the blessing arrives, the contractions intensify. Before the miracle emerges, the pressure increases. Before the reward is delivered, the struggle becomes unbearable. You are in spiritual labor right now, and Archangel Michael says you must hold on, because letting go now would cause you to miss the very thing you have been praying for. You may not see it yet, but the shift is happening. You have outgrown certain ways of thinking. You are no longer attracted to what used to distract you. You are no longer entertained by what once kept you stuck. That alone is proof of your transformation. Archangel Michael also warns that during this spiritual shift, the enemy will attempt to use fear, doubt, and confusion to get you to turn back. But you must not. The enemy cannot stop what God has already written for your life. He can only try to make you walk away from it. Stay rooted. Stay focused. Stand strong. You are being aligned with new opportunities, new connections, and new blessings. But these blessings require clarity, courage, and discernment. That is why the tests feel heavy. That is why the silence feels long. Heaven is molding you, shaping you, and strengthening you for what is coming next. What you are facing right now is not a setback. It is a setup. A divine preparation. A holy transition. Archangel Michael says, you are not losing your life. You are upgrading it. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. You are not being abandoned. You are being divinely protected. Stand firm. Stay awake. The shift is happening within you and around you, and it is preparing you for something far bigger than you ever imagined. There are moments in life when heaven issues gentle guidance, and there are moments when heaven sends a warning that must not be ignored. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this moment belongs to the second category. This is not a soft whisper. This is not a light nudge. This is a clear, direct, urgent message meant to protect your destiny, your peace, and your future. Archangel Michael says that right now, you are standing in a spiritual intersection. One path will lead you into everything you have prayed for, everything you have waited for, everything your soul has been prepared to receive. The other path will pull you backward into cycles you thought you escaped, patterns you already healed from, and battles you never want to fight again. Heaven is warning you because the enemy is trying to distract you during a sensitive moment of your transition. This is the moment when you must be alert, discerning, and intentional. Because the enemy does not attack what is weak. The enemy attacks what is rising. And right now, you are rising. Archangel Michael reveals that right before a major breakthrough, there are always three things that show up: old temptations, old fears, and old connections. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual traps designed to pull you away from the path God has placed in front of you. Do not go back to what God pulled you out of. Do not reopen a chapter that was closed for your protection. Do not let guilt, loneliness, or uncertainty trick you into returning to a version of your life that no longer fits the person you are becoming. You are not who you used to be. You have grown too much. You have survived too much. You have healed too much. Archangel Michael says the enemy will try to disguise old cycles as comfort. Memories may come back. People may reappear. Opportunities that once tempted you may resurface. But heaven is saying, be careful. Not everything that looks familiar is safe. Not every voice from the past carries truth. Not every invitation is meant for your spirit. This is the season when you must guard your energy, protect your faith, and be extremely selective with who you allow into your life. Your destiny is too important to be derailed now. Your purpose is too powerful to be diluted. There is too much on the line. You may feel the pull between the past and the future. This tension is a sign that something big is coming. Archangel Michael says the enemy is trying to pull you back because he knows the breakthrough ahead of you is life-changing. When you get close to your blessing, warfare increases. When you get close to your miracle, distractions multiply. When you get close to your destiny, resistance intensifies. But heaven is saying, do not be deceived. Do not fall asleep spiritually. Do not underestimate the importance of the decisions you make in this season. Your spiritual sensitivity is heightening. Your discernment is sharpening. Your intuition is aligning with divine truth. That is why certain things feel off lately. That is why certain people feel different. That is why certain environments no longer fit you. Your spirit is warning you before your mind understands. Trust it. Archangel Michael says there is a specific trap designed for you during this transition, the trap of emotional impulsiveness. Feelings are running high. Your heart may be tired. Your mind may be overwhelmed. Your patience may feel thin. These emotional vulnerabilities are exactly where the enemy tries to get in. But heaven is saying, pause before reacting. Think before deciding. Pray before moving. Do not let temporary feelings destroy permanent blessings. Do not let impatience rob you of what you've been waiting for. Do not let frustration lead you into the wrong direction. This is the moment when spiritual maturity matters. This is the moment when discipline matters. This is the moment when listening matters. A common mistake people make right before their breakthrough is assuming they can relax. Assuming the battle is over. Assuming they can let down their guard. But heaven says the final stretch is when you must be the most alert, because that is when the enemy throws his strongest distractions. Archangel Michael also warns that certain voices around you may carry confusion. You must be careful with who you talk to about your plans, your dreams, and your spiritual journey. Not everyone who listens has the right intentions. Some people are meant to witness your transformation from a distance, not walk beside you in it. There are people who smile but secretly hope you fail. People who pretend to support you but speak doubt behind your back. People who pretend to care but quietly compare. Archangel Michael says, this is not the season to overshare. Your purpose requires privacy. Your blessings require protection. Your next move requires silence. Heaven is removing certain people from your path because they cannot walk with you into the next chapter. Their energy is too low. Their intentions are not pure. Their presence would interfere with your elevation. You may not understand why certain relationships suddenly feel heavy or unstable, but spiritually, this is divine protection. Archangel Michael is saying, trust the separation. Trust the discomfort. Trust the divine redirection. Heaven is also warning you about the danger of spiritual stagnation. This is not the time to stop praying. Not the time to stop believing. Not the time to stop growing. The moment you stop feeding your spirit, the enemy begins to plant doubt, fear, and confusion in your mind. But heaven says, stay connected. Stay aligned. Stay anchored. Keep your spirit awake and your heart open. You are being prepared for a blessing that requires spiritual strength. This warning is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to protect you. It is meant to make sure you do not sabotage what God has already planned for your life. You were not brought this far to fail. You were not chosen just to be broken. You were not prepared just to be abandoned. Heaven is on your side. Archangel Michael is fighting on your behalf. But you must stay aligned with the path God is guiding you toward. Stand strong. Hold your ground. Keep your eyes open. The next step you take is critical. The future you prayed for is closer than you think. The blessing you have been waiting for is within reach. But you must heed the warning. You must stay awake. You must choose wisely. Archangel Michael says there is a moment coming that will shift your entire life. A moment so precise, so intentional, so divinely orchestrated that when it happens, you will know instantly that it was not coincidence, not luck, not chance, but the hand of God intervening directly in your story. This intervention is not something you can predict. It is not something you can calculate. It is not something you can rush. It is a move from heaven that arrives exactly when your spirit is ready, even if your mind still feels uncertain. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven has been preparing this moment for a long time. Every curve in your path, every delay, every disappointment, every unexpected change, none of it was random. All of it was leading you to the moment when God steps in and says, enough. Now it is time. This intervention will bring clarity to confusion, breakthrough to stagnation, and direction to uncertainty. Something in your life is about to shift suddenly, like a door swinging open in a quiet room. What felt blocked will open. What felt impossible will become simple. What felt heavy will be lifted. What felt distant will come rushing into your reality. You may not realize it, but you are standing at the edge of a divine turning point. Archangel Michael says there is a blessing being prepared for you that cannot be interfered with by anyone. Not by enemies. Not by circumstances. Not by delays. Not by fear. This blessing carries your name, your purpose, your destiny. No one can take it from you, and no one can stop it. But heaven wants you to understand something critical. Divine intervention often appears during moments when you feel the least capable, the most tired, or the most unsure. That is because God's intervention is not based on your strength. It is based on His promise. You may feel like you are running out of patience. But heaven is saying, do not give up. You may feel like your faith is getting weaker. But heaven is saying, hold on. You may feel like you have been waiting too long. But heaven is saying, the wait was building the weight of what is coming. This next blessing is not small. It is not average. It is not ordinary. It is big enough to require preparation, strengthening, and protection. That is why the journey has felt long. That is why the battle has felt intense. That is why the pruning has been uncomfortable. Preparation always comes before elevation. Archangel Michael says the divine intervention coming into your life will expose the truth, remove the obstacles, and clear the confusion. You will suddenly understand why certain things had to happen the way they did. You will see how every closed door was actually protection. You will recognize how every delay was divine timing. This intervention is coming with clarity. You will know exactly what to do. The confusion that clouded your mind will break. The uncertainty that haunted your decisions will dissolve. The heaviness sitting on your chest will lift. You will breathe again. Think again. Dream again. Believe again. Heaven is also preparing to bring separation where separation is needed. Some people will be removed from your life quickly, without warning. Not because you did anything wrong, but because they cannot follow you into the next chapter. Their energy is too heavy. Their intention is not aligned. Their presence would interfere with your breakthrough. God is removing what cannot stay so he can bring what must enter. Archangel Michael says not only is a blessing coming, but a revelation is coming, a revelation that will shock you in the best way possible. Something hidden will be revealed. Something unclear will become unmistakably obvious. Something confusing will suddenly make sense. Your spirit has been sensing this shift before your mind could understand it. That is why you feel anticipation without knowing why. That is why you sense movement even when nothing looks different. That is why you feel a spiritual urgency, like something is approaching. Because it is. And it is closer than you think. Heaven is not asking you to figure it out. Heaven is not asking you to predict it. Heaven is not asking you to control it. Heaven is asking you to prepare your heart, align your spirit, and stay open. This intervention will not come through the source you expect. It may come through a conversation, an opportunity, an unexpected message, a chance encounter, a sudden shift in circumstances. But when it arrives, it will feel like the missing piece finally falling into place. Archangel Michael says that when this moment happens, you will know instantly that it was divine. You will feel peace. You will feel release. You will feel alignment. But you must be ready. You must be awake. You must be discerning. Because this moment will require you to move. To step. To act. Heaven can open the door, but you must walk through it. Do not hesitate when God says move. Do not stall when heaven brings opportunity. Do not shrink when the blessing appears. This moment is not meant to scare you. It is meant to elevate you. And heaven will give you everything you need when the time comes. This intervention will not only change your life, it will change how you see yourself. You will recognize your strength, your value, your calling. You will look back on this season and say, "Now I understand. Now I see why everything had to happen this way." Stand firm. Stay ready. The divine intervention coming your way will not just answer your prayers, it will exceed them. Archangel Michael says the moment you are approaching is not an ordinary moment. This is a divine appointment, a crossroads of destiny where your obedience, your faith, and your willingness to trust God will determine the direction of the next chapter of your life. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to allow fear to whisper lies into your spirit. This is not the moment to second-guess what God has already confirmed. You cannot hesitate now. You cannot hold back. You cannot doubt what heaven has already spoken over you. Archangel Michael says, what is coming into your life requires you to rise to a new level of spiritual maturity, courage, and identity. You cannot step into your promise while carrying the mindset of your past. You cannot inherit your blessing while holding on to the fears that kept you from stepping forward before. Something inside you must shift, must deepen, must strengthen. You are entering a moment where heaven is asking for alignment. Heaven is calling you to step into your real identity. You are no longer the version of yourself who was wounded. You are no longer the version who was overlooked. You are no longer the version who settled for less. You are no longer the version who doubted their own power. Archangel Michael says, you are stepping into the identity God intended for you all along. This is why you have been feeling a strange mixture of anticipation and pressure. Something within you knows that something bigger is coming. You can feel it even without seeing it. You can sense it even before it manifests. That is because your spirit is preparing for the moment when everything shifts. Heaven is inviting you into participation, not passiveness. God is not just blessing you, He is partnering with you. This next chapter is not just about what He will do for you, but about what He will do through you. Your life is being repositioned for purpose, impact, influence, and spiritual authority. Archangel Michael reveals that you will soon face a moment where you must choose faith over familiarity. This moment will require you to release something, step out of something, or walk away from something that no longer aligns with your destiny. And it will not be easy. But it will be necessary. Do not fear what you must leave behind, because heaven never asks you to let go of something unless something greater is waiting. This moment of destiny will expose what is real and what is false. It will clarify who is meant to stay and who must go. It will reveal the intentions of people you once trusted. It will separate the genuine from the temporary, the loyal from the opportunistic, the spiritual from the superficial. Archangel Michael says you must be prepared for truth. Truth will set you free, but it will also demand change. It will challenge your comfort. It will require you to make decisions that feel risky but are spiritually right. This moment will also bring unexpected opportunity. A door that has been closed for months or even years will suddenly open. Something that felt impossible will suddenly become effortless. A path you did not even consider will suddenly lead you to the breakthrough you have been praying for. But heaven warns, when the door opens, you must walk through it quickly. Delay can lead to missed timing. Doubt can lead to missed blessings. Fear can lead to missed alignment. Your spirit must be ready before the door appears. Archangel Michael says heaven has already equipped you with everything you need for this next chapter. The experiences you endured. The lessons you learned. The healing you embraced. The battles you survived. None of it was wasted. It was all preparation. Heaven uses pain as preparation. Heaven uses waiting as strengthening. Heaven uses struggle as shaping. Heaven uses delay as alignment. You are more ready than you think you are. This moment of destiny will not only bring blessings, it will bring confirmation. You will finally understand why the last season was so difficult. You will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why certain prayers took longer to be answered. You will understand why God said no to things you begged Him for. You will see the wisdom in every divine delay. Everything was leading you here. Archangel Michael says you must respond with 3 things. Faith. Focus. Follow through. Faith means trusting God even when you do not see the full picture. Focus means ignoring distractions that try to pull you off your path. Follow through means acting on what heaven instructs you to do. Your destiny unfolds when your spirit, your decisions, and your obedience come into agreement. There will also be a moment where heaven asks you to step into a level of boldness you have never displayed before. Do not shrink back. Do not apologize for your calling. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Your greatness is not arrogance, it is obedience. Archangel Michael says the blessing coming your way is so significant that it will not only elevate your life, it will elevate your faith. It will confirm God's love, His timing, His protection, and His presence in ways you cannot ignore. You will look back on this moment and say, I almost gave up, but heaven pulled me through. I almost lost faith, but God intervened. I almost settled, but the divine pushed me forward. I almost went back, but my spirit kept me moving ahead. This is the moment where everything changes. This is the moment where the spiritual becomes visible. This is the moment where heaven steps in publicly. This is the moment where destiny unfolds before your eyes. Archangel Michael is saying to you now. Stand firm. Stay awake. Be ready. Because what is coming will not only shock you, it will confirm that God has been guiding every step of your journey.